We want to welcome you out here to the North Park Mall, to the annual Converse Flying Eagles Indoor Mall Show. And I have Howard Martz and Buford Wilkes with me. Howard, I know you're the coordinator of this show. And wow, what a turnout here. How many airplanes are here?
At the last count, we had 80 aircraft. It took several months of preparation. A lot of people were involved in it. The club members, the mall management helped us a great deal. And we had several people come in from out of town to help us, and we're very proud of it. It's a very nice show and a very large for a mall show.
Well, there's a lot of people out here looking, and Buford, you're the president. You've got to be pleased with this.
Oh, I'm just very happy, Ray, that we had the participation that we've got. Our members are pretty reliable guys, and we asked for a lot of help here, and they obviously showed up. So we're very happy with the turnout.
As we're looking at these models, there's basically three categories of models. Howard, can you tell us, as we look at these models, what to look for?
We had three general classes. One of them was a sport class, and then we had a scale class, which the plane had to be a scale model of an actual airplane. And then we had a class for gliders, which many of our members like to fly gliders, and it too is an exciting part of the sport. But we did have the three classes. We had the sport, scale, and glider.
Well, we appreciate you inviting us out here. We're going to go out and take a look around, and it's a wonderful show. And we're looking forward to seeing these airplanes also at the annual flyInCruiseIn.
Yes, we'll be there, Ray. If nothing happens, we'll be there with our airplanes, and we'll sure want to be supportive of the flyInCruiseIn. And we also would like to take this opportunity to thank Inge and you and Time Warner for being available to us and putting us on the air. And I can't tell you how much it has helped our attendance and what it's done for our show. So we thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, fellas. I'm with Irv Mount, and Irv, it's a real privilege to get to talk to you. I know you've been involved in aviation for a long time here in the Marion area, and I know for a fact you got interested in aviation through these models, but that was a few years ago.
Yes, it was many years ago. I really got interested in aviation when I was at the old airport at Marion, Indiana, and then we decided we'd fly models. And I learned to fly out there in 1939, and I continued up my line, and then later on we got a flight into various places, and then after that we started the West Side Airport in 1945. We have a great interest in aviation. I think aviation is one of the greatest accomplishments that man could ever make, although we do find a lot of people draw backs to it, but it is a great asset to the community.
The old West Side Airport, out there where General Motors is today.
Right, we started out in 45, and we had the GI Bill of Rights out there, and we had 27 airplanes, and my other two partners that was with me, they have passed on, and I'm the only one of the owners that's still around.
Well, I know you've been involved in this modeling hobby for a long time, and there's a couple airplanes here that you have at the show today that we want to show. Irv, this model that you're holding right now, you built a long time ago.
Yes, I built this in 1938. My wife and I were married 2 years, and she'd say, well, what are you doing down there? But I loved aviation. So here it is. I've had it in 1938. It's 60 years old. It's never been touched, and it was covered with Japanese silk paper, and my wife and I used a fingernail polish on it to make it like it was, and we've kept it that many years.
Now, was this a kit or was this scratch built?
No, this was a kit from Cleveland Models out of Cleveland, Ohio, and I built it. And I have her name on it, Ilo the Second, and that thrilled her, you know.
Yeah.
But this is a hobby, and we lived it with that.
So this is what got you,
Really started in aviation.
And now this is what you call a free flight model.
Yeah.
So you would put gasoline in it, start it up, and launch it, and it would fly for how long?
Well, maybe a minute, maybe 5 minutes, and sometimes you couldn't find them. We lose them.
The wind had carried away.
Yes, not only the wind, but the thermals would pick it up. And maybe we'd run 4 or 5 miles to get it.
Well, that's something. You've kept this airplane all these years.
Yes, we put it in a box and put it away, and about 7 years ago, my wife and I found it, and we hung it up in the basement and had it ever since then.
Okay, I'd like to look at this DC-3 you brought to show us.
Okay.
Tell me what year you built this airplane.
This was built in 1947 and 48. We had a company, Ford Candy Company, said chew for charity, and they would come in and leave candy bubble gum. And I learned to know the pilot real well, but seemingly after a period of time they didn't come back, but they did many years come back in and bring it every year. They'd come in and land.
And they'd fly in at the old West Side Airport.
West Side Airport. And he'd say, boy, that's a short field, but he would get it in.
And so then you made this model. Now this model is a control line. You flew this off the end of a line.
Yeah, this is a control line, and you control it by pulling the strings on it. And both engines would run real good, and if one stopped, then you started to run around in a circle trying to catch it. But anyhow, it was very interesting.
This other airplane that you're currently flying now, Irv, incredible, a big airplane. It's a Cessna 170, has flaps, it's got an electric starter,
right,
brakes. I mean, this airplane is almost a real one.
Well, we tried to make it as real as we could. It took me about 3.5 years to build it. Not all the time, but just as I could. But it has hydraulic brakes on it, it's an electric starter. It's got a 6 horsepower engine in it, and it does just fly beautiful. We flew it last fall, and it was just like flying a great big airplane.
So if I'm standing there looking at that airplane, you can stand off with your radio and put the starter on it and just start it and taxi off and fly just like a real one.
Yes, we can. I made a little changement on it because it has such a great pound of horsepower in it. We now start it with an auxiliary starter, which is an electric starter. But we had to change the switch so we go from 0 degrees timing to 26 degrees timings, and then it's all on its own.
Makes it start a little easier.
Oh yes, sir. It's very hard to start. When it was new, as it is now, it starts hard, but maybe if I'll get some time on it.
How big is the wingspan on that airplane?
13 feet 6 inches.
And how much would it weigh?
I got 38 pounds in it.
Well, Irv, we appreciate you talking to us. You're a fascinating man. You've done a lot for aviation. Just on a little personal note, I fly that old 47 Aranca Chief, and looking back on the maintenance books, I saw your name where you worked on my airplane way back there.
Well, I might give you some interesting thought there. My wife happened to sew the wings for that airplane at that time. She has permit to fly, sew the wings for the flying airplane wings. And she sewed them wings. I put them on it, rebuilt the airplane for it. I'm glad that you have it because it is a very good airplane.
Well, I appreciate you working on it. You took good care of it, and I'm sure enjoying it today.
Well, thank you so much. We enjoy it too.
Thank you, Irv.